So good night. Good night. So our topic for tonight is division. Division and offense. Division and offense. Main things we're going to be talking about. We may talk about other things as well, but those are going to be our key focuses tonight. So I was meaning on finding the scripture that talks about division being an abomination or something like that. I was meaning to look for it, but I never got around to it, so I'm not really gonna use that. But also, I think that's somewhere in there. I'm not sure. I think I've read it before, maybe. That division is an abomination. But what I'm really gonna focus on is the one scripture in I don't remember where. Maybe Matthew. Don't remember, but it says, it is needful that offenses should come. Hold on, let me look for it. I think it's Matthew 24, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Matthew 24? Nope. Is it Matthew 24? No, I read it. Let me see. I don't know where it is. I have no recollection as to where it is. Is it chapter 18? I think it's chapter 18. Is it chapter 18? Let me see. Okay, yes, chapter 18. Here it is. Okay, I got it. I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to start at verse 6. But whoso will offend one of these little ones which believes in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offense comes. So, offense. Woe unto the world because of offenses. For it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offenses come. So one of the things that you'll notice with offense is when an offense is made, you've breached one's, personhood, I suppose. You've breached something, and now the person is offended. And one thing that offense causes is division, separation, that kind of stuff. And so when it comes down to division is not good because when people are divided, there may be things that because we're a body. So if my hand is offended, with my eye, then they're not going to effectively be able to work together, and they're one body. But if my hand and my eye is offended, then my eye may see some candy in my left hand, or my eye may see something, my left eye sees or my eyes are offended with my hands. So, my eyes may see something and be like, man, no. My eyes are offended with my left hand. Let's say my left hand. Or my right hand. My eyes are offended with my right hand. For me, my right hand is my more dominant hand. I would probably say, as people would say, it's my strong hand. My right arm hand, I can lift more with it than my left. So if I was to arm wrestle you, I'd rather use my right hand than my left. Because, when I work out, yes, I use both, but there's more strength in this arm because I do more with it. So, but let's just say my eyes and my right hand is offended, right? And my eye sees a weight, like, man, that thing, we got to pick that up, man. We got to get that, somebody might break their toe on that thing. Like, yeah, let's pick it up. But they remember, like, oh, no, there's offense there, though. I could ask right hand to do it, but, he's offended with us, so let's ask left hand. But left hand can't do that because my left hand is not developed in that area. So, it's that same with the body of Christ. You need every single person, You need every single person. So when there's division, and you need this person, you don't have access to them because you've offended them. And I'm not gonna talk in dark parables and stuff, So if I was to come out and be honest and open, when we get to confess your faults. So I offended, and there was, and with my offense, if I was, I've been so since maybe last week, Saturday, Friday-ish, considering like, man, is it even God's will that I preach? I've been thinking about that, like, man, it's probably not even God's will that I preach. Man, I shouldn't even be preaching this and that, this and that. I should not be preaching. I should not be preaching. Should I be preaching? Should I not be preaching? And it's something that, goes through my mind quite a bit, but I do combat it. But for some reason, that's been something that's been on my mind. And then, it's like, whatever. So then Saturday night I came home from evangelism and I went to preach, and it was as if the Lord wasn't there. Like, what? So I started a whole live video and everything. Like, I started to preach, and nothing was there. Like, as if the Lord wasn't there. Like, what? I felt nothing. Like, where's God? So I ended the video. I just ended it. Luckily, no one came on. Or they would have got a messed up word. Messed up word. But, I ended it, like, man, what was that? So I just went into prayer. I'm like, I'm going to seek the Lord. I prayed, didn't really get any answers or whatever. And then Sunday came, I prayed, and I was in worship. And after church, I went to go and seek the Lord. And then while I'm seeing the Lord, like, okay, I'm getting something, okay. I don't know, now I'm a bit confused. I'm still confused. I'm, declaring, okay, God, you're not the author of confusion. Clarify, clarify, clarify. So, it comes to my mind, okay, what is the last clear thing? So right now, you don't know. What's the last clear thing you remember? Like, well, I think I remember him saying to preach. That was in my mind. I think I remember him saying this. And then it was like, all right, well, let me just do it. So Sunday, after prayer, came back to the house, did a few things, and then I came to preach. And when I preached, the Spirit of God flowed. The presence was here. I didn't feel a wall or a blockage. And it was just like okay, that's weird. So I'm still kind of confused, like, but am I supposed to be preaching though? Like, I'm thinking about Balaam, like, yeah, maybe I'm Balaam. Because one thing that I've learned a lot, which we may touch on, is it is not good to be excessively wise. Solomon tells us that. I'm telling you, it is not good to be excessively wise. When you're excessively wise and you know so much, it will destroy you. So in my case, not saying anything, but the Lord did give me a brain that does all of its things. And when my brain comes to a conclusion, I don't come to conclusions. My brain just can't, because I've been raised up in Christianity. At this point in my life, my brain does not really come to conclusions outside of the Word. So if my brain comes to a conclusion, if I'm thinking about something or whatever, it won't settle without the Word justifying. So if I'm having some thoughts or whatever, man, okay, the word, and then the word I get, from the pastor, the teacher, the preacher. Okay, that my brain, when I have thoughts or whatever, my brain does not settle without having some biblical justification. And I've been, in Christianity my whole life. I mean, 3 years old. What can you possibly do when you're 3? So that's how my mind is, and I've always been exposed to the Word of God. And when I read the Word of God, I understand it. I have comprehension. When I hear the pastor preach, I have understanding and comprehension. If I'm unsure about something, I have access to the knowledge. I have access to it. So knowing so much, I'm telling you, having a lot of wisdom is not good. People that try to search out wisdom, you are in for it, because it just makes you paranoid. And may say, what? But it's spiritual knowledge. It's God knowledge. I'm telling you. An excess of knowledge can do a number of things. Number one, it's going to make you prideful. You're going to be prideful. Number two, it can make you paranoid. I'm telling you, it will make you paranoid. Because I know, okay, predestination. And I know reprobate mind. All of this, not that you shouldn't know those things, but the things that I get in church, the knowledge that, our pastor will give us, from the Spirit of God, all of that, when I have a feeling, I'm telling you, if I do something wrong, my first thought, like, man, I think about that, like, yeah, but, yes, I did this wrong thing. Man, everything that we do is pre-calculated by God. So God knew I was going to do this. What if he created me? He knew I was going to do this. What if this leads then to this and that to that and this to that, and I eventually die and see? All of that goes through my mind, and it makes me, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. So the excess of knowledge is not something that you want. You want to know what you need to know for your stage. If you know a lot already, you better obey at your stage. But, it's not good to have to want to know so much. It's not good. I don't even remember why I brought that up. But when it comes down to division, there are things that the Lord gives this person that he's not going to give you. There are things that he's going to give you that he's not going to give that person. You guys have to work together. So the Lord gives this person A, he gives this person 1, he gives this person 1, and he says, I want 2, okay? But I only have 1, and I only have 1. Yes, that means you guys have to come together and do this in order to see 2. Yeah, but if 1 and 1, we got problems, then 2 is not going to be brought forth because I need him. Can't make 2 with just 1. 1 needs another 1, and then they can make 2. But if, there's just 1 and 1 and they're separate, there is never going to be 2. So division. So what was I saying? So yeah, I offended. And one of the things that the Lord, I was talking about the preaching thing. Yeah, so preaching. That's what I was talking about. So I was like, man, should I be preaching? What's the last thing I learned? What's the last thing I heard? The Lord flowed. It was like, I'm confused. Okay, Lord, you're not the author of confusion. Clarify for me. Clarify. And then then I ended up then that Wednesday, yeah. So I that's going through. My mother also tells me, hey, Sam, it might not be the Lord that's telling you that. It may be a demon spirit. And then it was just like, yeah, but, and earlier Wednesday before that happened, I said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. And that was like, the straw that broke the camel's back, from past things. So, then I was, okay, so then I'm feeling strong. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm just keep seeking the Lord. What's his will, while still preaching. I'm amped up. I go to bed Wednesday. I wake up Thursday. Okay, I didn't get to pray before discipleship. I'm gonna come home after and pray. I go to discipleship and find out some stuff. Hey Sam, this, and this, and I get really bogged down. A lot of pride takes place, but not pride as in excess of I'm anything, but lowliness. And so then after that, I come home and I don't end up praying. And it was like now I know I shouldn't be preaching. Like, Sam, you do this. A bishop, according to 1 Timothy 3, is supposed to be blameless. It's supposed to be this, that, this. See, this is how you know you shouldn't be preaching. So all that is here. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be preaching. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to preach. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to go out evangelizing either. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Just saying a bunch of stuff because I'm in my emotions. But, I carry that into Friday too. And, then right before church, I was talking to my mama, yeah, I'm not going. I'm not preaching. And she was like, yes, you are. And I was like, I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching, and I'm not going out with the brothers. And she was like, yes, you are. And I was like, Mom, I'm not going. And she picked up the phone, and the brother that I ride with, she just texted him for me. And he said he'll be here at 10:20. I was like, Mommy, I'm not going. She's like, yes, you are. And she was just like, that's the will of the Lord for your life. So I was like, man, whatever. And so, I'm like, man, I might as well pray. I might as well just set my mind on the Lord. She's forcing me to go. So, worship, prophetic worship. The Lord knew exactly what I was going through. And then Saturday, which is today, I get out there, and I'm preaching or whatever, evangelism, talking to different people. And apparently my work, my faithfulness to going, as often as I do, is being noticed. And the Lord blessed me in ways that I haven't been blessed before. I've never been given this, at least not this amount or whatever that the case may be. You know, I'm given this. Like, what? Okay. You know, and then, edifying conversation, and it was a lot, and I knew the Lord was rewarding me. Like, hey, you made a decision to go. That's good. Here's this. Here's some of this. Here's some of that. Like, wow, Lord, that's crazy. You really just did this for me. Like, yeah. And so, but when there's division and offense, that gives an open door to the devil to 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 come in, and he can mess with your mind, mess with your thoughts, mess with your emotions, and go in there and change things that you feel, because when you're offended or when you're offending, and when there's division, the devil has access to you. So in my case, the devil had access to me because I was in offense, and that I was an offender. I was offending, and the devil had access to me. But my mother, like I told you, she's a drill sergeant. Like I think maybe she worked in the military or something like that. She'll drill you. She'll drill you, and that's the kind of mother that the Lord gave me. Because if I had another mother, the mother that's too soft, like, oh, well, baby, you don't got to go to church no more. You did this. I understand. We all make mistakes, and sometimes, you can never make it right. So just stop serving the Lord. It's okay if you want to, not my mother, not my mother. Like, what? So what that you did that? You better repent, and you better be out there. I better see you walking out this house when that brother is ready to go tearing down strongholds and building up the kingdom. You better be walking out this house too. That's the kind of mother I have. So praise God that I have her. But not everybody has that. So when it comes down to offense, and not being prideful, and I'm not talking about the lowliness, because hopefully that works godly sorrow. In my case, it works some godly sorrow, along with some motherly, fear. So for me, but most people could be prideful, like, what? Like, you're unwilling to admit that you were wrong. You're unwilling to make things right, and that's division. That's when the division begins to grow. Like, then you begin to be prideful about it. Like, nah, I don't receive that. Like, no, man, I didn't do that. Nah, I don't receive that. In my case, I didn't. That wasn't my first. That wasn't my first. That didn't come to my mind until actually later on Thursday, and I just rebuked the mess out of that. Like, nah, man, don't even think that way, because you were dead wrong what you said. So, but when it comes down to division, the devil, what he'll do is, the church may be a strong church. Like, okay, I can't make this person fornicate. I can't do this to that person. The leaders are strong and they're protecting the congregation. This is that. That's this. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of that. And then he may see something in someone like, this person is holding this in his heart against that person. Oh, okay, I see that. And that's his open door. If you let it be. If you're not seeking the Lord as to know what's in your heart, like, Lord, what's on the inside? What's on the inside? When you sit with the Lord for long enough, He will begin to show you the contents of your heart. Like, Lord, what's on the inside? And He'll show you, hey, you got that there. But if you're not seeking Him enough, you're not going to know. And then you're going to say stuff. You could be just joking, or you could be, just talking too much. And you say something, and people's like, what you just say? Like, oh, no, I was just playing. Like, no, you weren't. That came from your heart. The devil saw that you had that in there, and he worked through that, and that came out, and now you're in this because you don't seek the Lord long enough to know what's in your heart. And in my case, that Wednesday, I hadn't sought the Lord at all. I had not sought the Lord. My first time even talking to the Lord was when we went to church. And it was just like, so we're not going to go into that detail. But I hadn't sought the Lord at all that day. So my heart was just, because I am being given minor access to my heart. The Lord has showed me different things about myself. embarrassing things, very embarrassing things. And I was like, Lord, what in the world? That's on the inside of me? Like, yeah. But what? That's crazy. What? Why is that even there? I'm this. I'm not that. And like, hey, man, you have this in your heart and you need to get rid of it. Like, man. And the Lord shows me stuff in my heart. But, and He's been giving me more access because my worship is beginning to be more, not just, usually when I worship, it's more of a physical energy exertion and then just praying in tongues afterwards. Which, like, okay, yes, that's that. And, but now it's beginning to be more of where I'm able to communicate more with the Lord, than before. I'm able to communicate with Him on a deeper level. I'm able to interact and engage Him on a deeper level. My worship, I know how to worship, not just praise. Most people they can praise all day. I hit that chicken dance and 3 spins and man, and then when it's time for the slow music, you sitting down, just rocking back and forth. You probably done fell asleep, or whatever. You don't know how to have that deep, intimate time with the Father. You don't know how to worship, just praise. So in my case, that was me. Like, when praise, I'm going in, man. You don't see me like, man, what this guy doing in church, man? But, I'm praising. But then, after the praise, you have to learn how to worship Him and really let Him work on you and expose the contents of your heart to Him so that He can get it out, So now in my case, now that I'm given more access, I'm able to worship God, focus on God in worship in a way where I wasn't able to before. So back to what I was saying. This specific Wednesday, I hadn't prayed, and then I said something I wasn't supposed to say, and it was like that. Then and that it seemed to have happened so quick. Like, okay, I was already dealing with some doubt and unbelief. Then that doubt and unbelief turned, or first it was confusion, doubt, unbelief, discouragement. Then depression, then got prayer. Okay, I'm feeling stronger. And then, hey, you sinned, man. Like, man, I did sin. And that took me, back to depression. They're like, right, man, I'm terrible. I could never do this. Like, man, this is going to be terrible. This is, man. And then Friday night worship was so prophetic. And the Lord was so active. And then it was like, all right. The Lord, He gave me grace. And then He blessed me. I went out here to preach. Like, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to be faithful. I'm out there. And the Lord blessed me. He blessed me. He blessed me. And, I just need to put this money on my Cash App so that I can, go on Amazon because He blessed me, So what are you supposed to do with your money but go on Amazon? So, and so, but if I would have stayed in that depressed state, I wouldn't have got the blessing. But that's not the point, because yes, that's not the point because I didn't stay in that depressed state. But how could I have avoided that altogether? How? By watching what is here and what comes out here. Because the Word of God tells us that our hearts are deceitful and desperately wicked. So, whereas what I said wasn't something that I meditated on necessarily, it's probably came to my mind before, but I never really said it. Don't think. Never really said it. But then for it to come out, it was like, okay, first of all, you haven't prayed, so you're vulnerable already. You're a spiritual person, which makes you more vulnerable. So, and you haven't prayed. Okay, you haven't prayed. And, you're already in depression. So even more vulnerable. And you're in the flesh. When I haven't prayed, I can say I'm in the flesh. I'm telling you, I am in here, grabbing my sisters by the neck and just, doing that slam move because I'm in the flesh. I'm going to go and take a stick and just hit him with it, something. I'm very, and it's playfulness, but it's still flesh-like behavior. I'll pick my baby sister up and body slam her on the couch. Just like, yeah, take it. And that's how I am when I have not prayed. I'm very, carnal. That's carnality. Wednesday I was busy doing physical things, so I didn't have much time to do that necessarily. I wasn't necessarily doing that, which also gave me like, maybe God is, he understands that I'm busy doing this. So, I'll pray probably around 4-ish, 3-ish, probably. My plan was to pray around 1-ish, 2-ish, to go pray, but then that didn't happen. And then sin was provoked, and since it's in here, I don't know that that's in here. And it just came out like, oh wow, that's crazy. Lord forgive me. I think it was simple, like, oh yeah, I'm just playing. It's gonna, like that's okay that you said, like, no. That's like this Christian guy over here, he says he's a pastor, he's talking, he just uses profanity. He's like, yeah, I'm just playing, God forgive me, I didn't mean to say that. Like, hold on, man, you use profanity. Don't, as a matter of fact, get off the stage, man. We need to pray for you because that's not something to just take lightly. I mean, if you're talking, and you maybe start joking about one of the brothers or whatever, and then you say, I'm just playing, brother. Certain things may be okay. That I'm just playing, or that simple, minor, God forgive me. That may be enough to cover for certain things. Not saying that you should take your chances, Don't take me up on that. But with other things that you say, like, nah, you meant that. That came from somewhere. And for me, it was like when it was addressed, like wow, I didn't even know. I didn't, it was like, hey, are you dealing with this or that? Like, in my mind, like, no, in my mind, like, no, I'm not. So what's going on? And then, like, you are, man, you are, or you may not be entirely, but it's something there, or I was just in the flesh, and that in the flesh, because I wasn't seeking the Lord, made me, because I have access to my heart, very limited. Don't take me up on that. Very limited. Very limited access to my heart, but it's something. And I'm beginning to be a bit more spiritual. The Lord is giving me, more knowledge, more wisdom, more access to Him, more access. And so when I haven't prayed, like, yeah, they're gonna get you fast. They're gonna get you fast to say something. And why didn't the demons just, make me like probably go and like, do something else? Why did my flesh? Because I hadn't prayed? Usually it'll be something like, I didn't take out the trash. My mom told me to. I didn't wash the dishes. I probably skipped out on some chores, or I was just being super playful. Why wasn't it that? Why was it this? Well, because of your impact, your impact in the spirit realm. So now you're getting more attention. The more attention you get, the harder the attacks are going to be. I'm telling you, the harder the attacks are going to be. Because it's around that time, October, September, the end of, September, October, beginning of November, however that is. Them demon spirits, witches and warlocks, they're very active, very, very active at this time. So whatever they're releasing, because I'm beginning to be more spiritual, I'm beginning to pick up. I'm beginning to pick that up. It's more like that's here. And because I'm not staying prayed up, now stuff is coming out. Like, oh yeah, and this. Like, what, brother? What did you just say? Oh, I said this. I was just playing. Like, no. Brother, you need strong deliverance and prayer because you just said that. You don't say stuff like that. And then now there's offense. And now there's been a breach. Division. And I could say out of pride, like, man, just forgive. Like, what? You idiot. No. It's not going to always just be like that. It's not going to always be like that. So, the Lord is trying to keep us from even offending people in the first place. And how would we not offend people? How do you not offend people? Well, by watching what comes out of your mouth. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. By watching what comes out of your mouth. Like, okay, if you don't talk as much, you will be less likely to say stupid, offensive things if you just know how to shut your mouth. Like, if I talk slow and I think, the world teaches you this: think before you speak. If I think before I speak, if I talk slow and don't talk as much, I'm going to be less likely to speak out of character, because I'm thinking, and I may, something from my heart may rise up, but I'm slow to speak, and I seek the Lord, so I'm gonna feel it like, oh, something's rising up. What is that? And Lord, hey, that's that. Like, oh, I rebuke that. Lord, get that out of me. And you're not going to say it, even though that's something that was in there. Because you seek the Lord and you don't speak as much. So if Sam learns how to be quiet, and not to joke as much, then Sam is going to be less likely to sin. Because if I was to be completely honest, most of my carnality and sin stems from playing around. Most of it. Stems from playing around. Like, when I leave prayer, like, Lord, how come I leave prayer and I still have these thoughts? Man, when you left prayer, as soon as you left prayer, first of all, when you walked out the room, you fake punched your sister in the face. And then your baby sister, you started chasing her and growling, and then when you did get her, you slammed her somewhere, you did this, you did that. You're wasting oil by doing these things. So when it's the real problems, you just wasted all that oil on that. You just wasted all that oil on that. And so now, when it's this, your mind is going to be less protected. You're going to be more vulnerable to the things of the flesh and the things of the world, because you're not in the spirit. You've wasted oil by doing this, by doing these small carnal things. The Lord warns us to stay away from. Not that it's not okay to play every now and then and to say a joke here and there, but in moderation. You got to learn when to tone that stuff down. Like, you got to learn when to just be quiet. Like, okay, I've been talking. It's time to be quiet. It's time to be quiet. And so if we were able to be quiet more, because that's something, people's mouth will get others offended. They will offend people by using their mouth. But if you know what to say and when to say it, if you put away the childish things, you're going to be less likely to offend people, because you don't say things out of the way. And when people want to be around you, because first of all, you don't talk as much, and when you do talk, edifying words come out of your mouth. When you do speak, you edify. You speak to the edification of your brothers and sisters. But if when you talk, you just say stupid stuff, if you just say weird stuff, carnal stuff, people are not going to want to be around you, because you say things that, first of all, don't edify, and second of all, are carnal. Man, what you're saying is dumb. And two, like, yo, that's carnal, that's this, that's that. Brother, you need to learn how to be quiet. You talk too much. Like, so, and that could offend people. Like, brother, you offended me because you rebuked me. Like, no, you need to learn how to talk. But if you're obedient, you won't need that kind of rebuke. And when you don't get that kind of rebuke, you won't be offended, because you're not going to be doing things to get that kind of rebuke. So if I was in the Spirit on Wednesday, if I was seeking the Lord that Wednesday according to His will, if I was busy in the kingdom and not giving my mind over to the voice of demon spirits telling me different things through as if they were God, if I wasn't doing that, if I was vigilant and sober, I would have been, less likely to say that. I would have been less likely to say that. I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have. Because, what? That probably wouldn't even come to mind. The Lord probably would have told me something like that in prayer. Like, hey, Sam, you think this way about this person. Like, oh, that's in there? Like, yeah, okay, well, Lord, get it out. That would have been something that came in prayer, not something that I would have voiced as a joke, And so, but if you're not seeking the Lord according to His will, then you're gonna be susceptible, if that's the right word, to those kinds of attacks and to those kinds of acts of cruelty. That's mean, to say something like that. So when it comes down to offense, when someone is offended, and you need that person, you need access to them. You need access. Everybody's anointed. Yes, the person who Brother Sam offended is anointed. Anointed. And so, but, there's division. So guess what? Brother Sam doesn't have access to that because I don't know how to shut my mouth. I don't know how to not talk as much. I don't know how to dim down the joking. And so because of that, I gave place to the devil to bring division. Now, luckily, the Lord, luckily I've been really stressing pride, high-mindedness. Because pride also, what I did was still prideful. But high-mindedness, I've been stressing that with the Lord, so I didn't walk in that. It was more so a low-mindedness, which for me is better than high-mindedness because I feel low. I'm going to be more open to the Lord, at least me. I don't know about anyone else. Me, when I'm super low, I just want to, maybe talk to God or go to sleep. Those are one of the two things that I want to do. Sleeping is not good, so don't do it. Talking to the Lord, talk to the Lord. I used to just go to sleep. Every time I was in my emotions, I would just go to sleep. And the Lord was merciful to me. I did not get a devil from that. He was merciful to me. That doesn't mean you do it. But me, sleeping was like a drug for me. It was like a drug. That's how I escaped reality, between the years of like 2017 and 2020. Even last year. So yeah, that was something that I did, when I was upset, when I was sad, all of that. I would go to sleep. And now in my walk, sleep is something that I'm trying to overcome because it's now like an idol, like, man, sleep is like a drug, for me, or it was, the Lord has delivered me in Jesus' name. But sleep was like a drug. So you're not supposed to go to sleep when you're in your emotions, but you're supposed to seek the Lord. So those are one of the two things that I want to do when I'm feeling low. When I'm feeling prideful, like, man, I don't even, I'm not even wrong. I'm not going to pray because I feel like I'm not even wrong. Like, talking about, man, I'm Sam. Like, man, you can look me up. Like that kind of pride. But because I've been like really, like, Lord, I am this way. And it's good that, in one sense, I'm happy that Wednesday happened. Because now I know, hey, attack this. Because I wasn't necessarily praying to the Lord about my ability to be quiet. I wasn't. But now that's something that is now going to be put on the list. So, on a list of millions of things, millions of things. I tell you, millions. But, and so when the Lord, so that was an example of mercy to whatever extent. Sometimes when you ask the Lord to show you yourself, because I have asked the Lord that, Lord, show me what kind of person I am. Most of the time, He may tell me in prayer, or He'll just tell me on the inside of me when I'm in a situation. So if I'm here, and so the Lord showed me something that I have a feeling towards my parents, a bad feeling towards my parents, but it wasn't something that I acted out necessarily. Recently it was this year. So it wasn't something that I acted out necessarily. I just, it was just something that rose up on the inside that I did not act out. So, but it was in here. And I just felt it. Like, wow, I'm that way. It's crazy. I need to go pray. And then praying, seeking the Lord. So, but, God sometimes is going to show you that you're away by having you act it out. So whereas before, the Lord may know, okay, this guy has theft in his heart. He has theft in his heart. Okay, he has theft in his heart. The Lord may know, okay, this guy has theft in his heart. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. The Lord has the big picture here. It was like, okay, so this guy if we don't deal with this now, in 7 months, he's gonna steal a lady's car, and he's gonna end up in jail. But this guy's a Christian. Like, he's a Christian. Then the Lord's okay. But yeah, he's a Christian. He preaches. Everybody kind of knows him and stuff like that. Or a lot of people know him. If he goes to jail for stealing a car, that's gonna bring shame to my name, and I'm gonna have to judge him. And so the Lord's like, okay, I don't want to judge him. So I'm going to show him that he's this way. Now, most people are like, Lord, why you can't just tell me the dream? Or, Lord, why you can't just, just whisper it in my ear? Or, Lord, why you can't just, tell me? But the Lord's like, hey, I am going to tell you. So the Lord will have this person at Dollar Tree, looking at the Reese's. Like, man, he's eyeing it. Like, man, I really want that. And so instead of him buying it, he takes it and puts it in his pocket and goes home. Now, you may say, like, what? And he may say, I'm a Christian. I preach the gospel. Why did I just do this, Lord? Why did you let me do this? Why did I just steal this? Reese's Pieces, why, God? Why? I was like, okay, I know you're probably all, I know you're flipping your lid about that, but which is worse? You stealing a 50-cent Reese's, or you stealing a $100,000 car? Like, oh, you're stealing a $100,000 car, right? So I had you steal this Reese's to show you that you have theft on the inside of you, and now I want you to pray about that. You're like, all right, Lord, and then you pray about it, and then you're walking somewhere, and you see a $100,000 car, lady left it, the keys in the door, and it's like, man, I could go and take that car, man. But you've been praying, so now that theft is not on the inside of you, so you don't do it. It's like, wow, that's crazy. So for me, I looked at this, I didn't look at it like this. I am looking at it like this. Okay, so, yeah, that happened. Okay. That happened within the house of God. Now the Lord just showed me, hey, Sam, you talk too much and you joke too much. You say stupid things out of your mouth. Like, okay. And you also have this in your heart. Oh, okay. Let me pray. So seeking the Lord. And then maybe months down the line or years down the line, where I'm re-given or I'm to retake this test, but in a greater way. Like, I may be before someone great. I may be having to talk to someone great. And if I'm still the same way I was at this time, and I make that same mistake, if that wouldn't have happened, then I would not have known that was there. And I probably would have just continued until I would have just done it. And it would have been a big thing. Everybody knows, oh man, this guy Sam is that way. Oh my goodness, you heard what he said to this person? Did you hear what he did? Did you hear what he said? Like, man, that guy said, man, I always knew, man, see? So, and then I would have been jacked up, I tell you, jacked up. But so the Lord allowed it to happen this way. And for me, this is still big. It's still big. Like, Lord, it's still really big, yes. But it's your church family. And it's better that, it's done here. Everybody knows. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people know. We're praying for you. They love you. Yeah. And so some people are praying for you. All right? That's, I want you to pray as well. So that so that you are being changed. And all right. And then after this, this passes. Now I'm in this situation, this scenario, and we've been praying. So now I'm more quiet. How come Sam doesn't talk that much? Like, oh, well, because Sam was in the presence, because this happened, and Sam said the wrong thing. And so then from that time forward, Sam has not ceased to bring this before the Lord. So now, I just don't talk as much. And if I do talk, if I do joke, it's moderate and appropriate, And it's not offensive. It's not offensive. So, yeah, that's why Sam doesn't talk that much. Oh, wow, man. And the people may be like, man, that's crazy that the Lord showed you that. Like, yes. But you know how you felt in that moment. Like, you feel like, God, why would you let this happen to me? Why would you let me do this? I was like, hey, it's better that I showed you that in this way than for you to just act it out. But you may say, Lord, well, why didn't you just tell me in prayer? Or why didn't you just, tell me in the scripture? Or Why didn't you just manifest and talk to me and tell me or give me a dream or something? Well, like, you have to understand the Lord has the big picture here. The Lord knows what we need and what we don't need. You know, a lot of people want to know, like, why doesn't God just come and talk to me himself? There are people that'll say stuff like, I'll never trust God, I'll never believe God, I don't believe there's a God until he come and talk to me himself. He need to come and talk to me like a man. You know, people say those foolish things. And what they don't know is God is trying to protect them from himself. Because he knows if he talks to you and you do that, he's going to have to judge you 10 times greater. I'm going to tell you the story. So, there was a guy, there was a guy who was selling drugs. He was selling drugs, and this is a true story. True story. I just heard it today. I encountered the guy or whatever. So his testimony basically, he was selling drugs, and I guess he invested all of the money he had to get this one super expensive drug that he was gonna sell, and get an even greater profit off of. So he got that, and then he was in the restroom, and he was talking to one of his boys, like, "Hey man, I got the one drug, bro. I got it, man. I'm about to make this much, man. I'm about to make this much." And then, he said he heard a voice, and the voice said, "Flush it down, flush it." He was like, "What?" It was like, "Flush it." And he knew it was God. He knew it was the Lord. Audible voice, "Flush it, flush it." And he was like, "No, man, but Lord, I spent a whole lot of money on this. I got this. I invested a whole lot. I'm losing if I flush it." He was like, "Flush it." He's like, "Lord, okay, how about this? I just won't sell on Sundays." And he's like, "No, flush it." He said the voice begins to get louder and louder. Flush it, flush it, flush it. And, he didn't flush it, but he didn't sell it. He didn't sell it. The next day he did not sell it because he was so shook up about it. But then after a day, he just sold it. Like, "Nah, man, I ain't about to waste this money." He sold it and got the money for it. And you would say, "What?" Like, yeah. This man heard God's voice and still made a decision to do the exact thing that he was told by God not to do. And you wonder why God doesn't just manifest and talk to you. Because if he gives you such clarity and such a visitation, and you don't sanctify yourself, you don't cleanse yourself, if you don't change, then he's gonna curse you. He's gonna curse you. So that's why. So God, why didn't you just tell me yourself? Like, first of all, you're this way. Second of all, in your business. And third of all, I had to show you in a public way so that other people also know what kind of person you are, and so that they can pray for you. Like, man, I receive it. Okay, and so that's the will of the Lord. So now, but just if okay, let's just say that wasn't necessarily part of it, and this was just a test. Okay, let's say it's a test or whatever. If Sam would have prayed, if Sam would have been focused on the Father, then I wouldn't have made a decision, or I would not have been open to the flesh to say things that I ought not say, things that are inappropriate to say. Like, "Hey man, you don't say stuff like that. That's offensive." Like, really? Like, yeah, and you this is on the inside of you, and that's why you said that. You also were in the flesh. That's why you said that. So because I haven't prayed, because I haven't sought the Lord, I haven't been in his word, I'm gonna be more of a bad person. And I'm telling you, Sam is a bad person, especially when I haven't prayed. Especially. Keyword, especially. When I haven't prayed, I'm telling you, I'm a bad person. And, now, when it comes down to division, in my mind, like, man, I love everybody. No, you don't. You have this in there, and the love is just on the top of this. The love is that surface stuff. But deep down, you feel this way. Like, man, that's right. I feel this way. Yeah, you feel this way. You feel that way. Now, you need to repent. You need to, first of all, get rid of the fake love. You see that? That's in there. You need to address this in my presence and change. Now, if you don't address your heart in the presence of God, you're not going to know what kind of a person you are. And you're going to make decisions out of, you're going to make decisions out of haste. And the Word of God says the man that hastes with his feet sins. I think it says that. I believe it says that. I've heard it quoted, But I know it says it. So it says that. And, and you haste with your feet. If you haste with your feet, you're going to sin. Like, hey, man, why are you talking so much? Oh, I got a lot to say. No, you don't. First of all, 99.9999 of the things that are coming out of your mouth are not edifying. It's not edifying. Make that 100% of everything that's coming out of your mouth right now. None of it is edifying, man. None of it is edifying. So, you need to just hush. You need to hush. Lay your hand upon your mouth. That's what you need. Because what you're saying is not benefiting. You're not being beneficial. So learning how to be quiet. Okay, yes, it is in me to speak a lot and to talk fast. Okay, I know that. So first of all, I need to not talk as much and I need to slow down. Think before I speak. Before my words come out, they first have to pass through my brain. And then it comes from like here to here to here. Like, okay. But you don't feel that coming up. Like you don't know what's on the inside of you. Like, so like, and people will tell you like, no, I didn't know I was that way, man. I didn't know I would say something like that. Like, okay, first of all, the reason why you didn't know is because you're not seeking the Lord according to His will. If you're not seeking the Lord according to His will, then of course you're not gonna know. Like, man, I didn't know I was this way. I didn't even know. Like, yeah, you didn't know. You didn't know. Well, you need to start seeking the Lord so that you can know. That you can. So that you're not dumb. So that you're not open to the spirit of the world. And why does the devil work through division so much? Because most churches, strong sin is not going to be being done there. Some churches. I'm not going to say most. Some churches are not, the pastor's not going to be fornicating with people. Those teens over there are not going to be, doing that. This and that is not going to be happening. Okay, all right. I can't get the church to do this. But hey, I see that person that feels this way towards that person. Oh, he doesn't even know that he feels that way. Wow. Let's make his mother tell him to do school. Let that take up almost his entire day where he doesn't get to seek the Lord. And then let this person come over, let them all start joking, and make him say that. Make that come out. Make that person go and tell that person. And now, there's beef. And now the devil's in. All right. I already wanted that guy anyway. I want him to stop preaching. I want him to do this. So, yeah, let's work that out. Okay. Now, he's discouraged and depressed. Man, we got him. Oh, they don't want to even talk to each other? Man, that's even better. They're going to always be separate. It's always going to be a problem here. As long as he still has that in his heart, as long as that person still has that in their heart, I'm always going to have a nice place here when I get kicked out of there. I'm going to just come back here because I already got a little apartment going on over here. They already hate each other. Man. What? That's murder too? That's murder, bro. I'm telling you. We can work with that. He's talking to his God. Like, man, we could work with that. That's murder. He wants to do that. And this person wants to do that. Man. Just, okay, so this is what we're going to do, all right? Do this, have this happen, do this, have that happen. The devil studies people. He'll see it, like, yeah, that's in his heart. But he prays. He prays. Okay, well, we got to get him in a day where he's not praying. Because if he prays in that day, he's most likely, that's not going to come out. He's going to bury that under more of God's glory. And that's going to be less likely to come out. If anything, he'll just sit in the presence of God even longer until God just shows him that. So, okay, so what are we going to do? We got to make sure he doesn't pray. Like, right. So, have it out like this. Do it like this. Like, Okay, and like you don't think the devil will orchestrate things? You don't think the devil will orchestrate things? The devil will orchestrate things. You know, he will do it like, okay, you know, that over there, put that over there. Yes, that right there, because when he comes in, that's a booby trap right there. He doesn't even see it. He doesn't even know that this. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know this. So just do this. Do it like this, okay? Like, right. Okay, so do that. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And then the scenario will play out. It will play out like, you know, I'll come out, I'll wake up, to my mother, like, hey, Samuel, this is your schoolwork for the day. Like, oh, all right. You know, matter of fact, I don't think I'm going to graduate you this year. Like, what? Why? Because you're not doing enough school. All right, man, I need to just do school. Let me just do some school. You know, do school. And then I've been doing it, you know, need help here, there, you know, but I'm doing it. And I've been doing that the whole day. And then people came over, you know, I started joking. You know, I'm joking, being very playful. Joking. And man, man, you weird, man. That person weird. And man, let me tell you about this. Man, this person is this. I'm just playing. Oh, okay. Hey, he said it, man. He said it. Oh. Now put it in this person. I'm going to tell that person. All right. But make sure they don't say, yeah, do it like this. All right. Hey, did you hear that this person said this? Like, what? And he was like, ooh, all right, he got a nice surprise when we go tomorrow. You know, I go to discipleship, man, all right, out the here, going home to seek the Lord. I'm going to seek the Lord for longer than usual because I just, you know, I want to manifest. So I'm going to seek the Lord for a long time. Ooh, man. And then I'm going to have a nice video after that, too. And then Friday's going to be a good day. Saturday, preaching. The Lord's going to move. Man, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm telling you, my mind. They was like, So after the session, hey, got to talk to you. Let's go over here. Then I get, oh man. Guess what? When I went home Thursday, I didn't pray. I did not pray when I went home Thursday. I went home and I was just, you know, I didn't want to go to sleep because I already know what that does. Okay, I'm not going to go to sleep. Let me just do some schoolwork. You know, did some schoolwork, went outside, shot some hoops. You know, then just was my room, kind of just in my room, you know, thinking, considering. Yeah, man, okay, I'm not going to preach no more. I'm not going to do this no more. And they was like, see, this is what I needed, okay? I needed you to shut up, kid, you know, because, you know, you going out there every Saturday and being a little committed, that's getting God's attention. He's starting to think that you're a faithful person. And I overheard God talking to that one angel about how he wants to give you control over this area of you. And if I lose you in this area, oh man, if I lose control of you in this area, you know, we're going to be messed up. So I need to keep control of you here. So in order for me to do this, I got to do that. And the devil's going to do it. And people are so blind. People are so blind. They don't even see. They don't see it. Man, you don't even know that the devil is plotting your downfall, and you're getting upset about, man, you left your drawers on the counter. Whose stuff is this? Why you left your sock at my house? Sis, you ain't say hi to me. You know, my goodness, this or that. And the devil's planning our downfalls through division. You know, you always, you know, you need to learn how to shut your mouth. Don't talk so much. Study to be quiet. You know, keep your mouth shut. One of the soldiers told the one guy, Micah, from, what is it? Where is it? Judges 17 or Judges 18, one of them. The one of the soldiers told him, hey man, lay your hand on your mouth if one of these guys come and kill you. Be quiet, you know? So for us, we need to learn how to be quiet. Watch what we say. Offenses are gonna come. But they better not come through you. Yeah, especially like, oh, you preach. Oh no. Like, man, the devil knows the word. The devil will take the Bible and say, Lord, you said in your word. So Sam did this. Not everybody, you know, has something on them right now. But you say over here in 1 Timothy 3, Jesus, that a bishop, you know, if you're doing the work, you have to be blameless. You have to be this. You have to meet these criteria. And he's not meeting that, Lord. So, can I have access? He's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. And we're blind. We're blind. Like, man, I'm still living life, like, man, I'm good. I'm good. Or whatever, this or that, this or that. You even know the devil is secretly planning your downfall. So we gotta be vigilant, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind and be sober. Hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought at the revelation of Jesus. We gotta be sober, be vigilant. You don't want to be asleep at battle. You're at war and you sleep. And imagine that, like, you're not even vigilant. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. Not that you should pay attention to what Satan is doing, but you must be vigilant, not paranoid and not distracted, but vigilant. You know, and vigilance doesn't look like trying to go on Google. You're like, man, I need to get woke. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, man, I need to find out what Area 51 is. Like, no. Like, no. That's not what that means. That's not what that means, man. I need to find out what the government doing. No, that's not what that means. You need to find out what Jesus is doing. And what is Jesus doing? And if Jesus wants you to know about this or that, he'll tell you. Let him tell you. So what's wrong with people of today? So don't walk in offense. Don't be offensive. Don't be offensive. And when you're confronted, do not become prideful. Humble yourself when you're confronted. Humble yourself. Acknowledge about the fact that you were wrong. Confess. Yeah, I was wrong. I should have did that. And you better not stop doing the will of the Lord for your life. You better not stop doing it, because that's what Satan wants. That's what he wants. And we cannot give him any access. We have to be faithful and holy men and women of God. And in order for that, we have to be vigilant. We have to be sober. So that was Brother Sam's confession. Be holy as the Father is holy.